Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. Tom and I are happy to be here. Took another week off. Apologize. It feels like we're working through some bugs. We're working through some issues, and we might be back here to a weekly program. A lot of fun stuff we want to chat about today. Can't wait to get into it. Can't wait to get Tom all riled up. I hope that you're here for it. If you're hanging out, hit the thumbs up button. We're getting ready to go after it. Hey, Tom. I believe.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
We believe.
Hey, Tom, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Guy was an internet sensation.
Bro, you want to talk about somebody that has reaped the benefit of the new TNA NXT partnership? It has got to be Joe Hendry.
I mean, he's really, honestly, I think that partnership only exists because of how viral Joe Hendry went on TikTok with his theme. Because it was literally I could not flip a TikTok without getting, the next one was a Joe Hendry TikTok. I was like, what is happening here? Like, not only was WWE popping off and was like all over the place, but like every other TikTok was about Joe Hendry. It wasn't even just, it was insane.
Yo, Joe Hendry is mainstream right now. I see NFL guys and like NBA guys singing his theme song, doing the clap, getting into it.
There's Domino's pizzas that have believe in Domino's pizza. Like like Domino's believes in Joe Hendry. Like they're like, because he's getting, he's in the NXT title picture, like places that are like franchised that have like signage outside are putting out Joe Hendry signs, and people are like, oh yeah, I understand. It is so mainstream. It's unbelievable.
And you know what? That's great for pro wrestling.
Fantastic.
That's great for WWE. It's phenomenal for NXT. But do you know who really wins? Do you know who really wins in all of this?
Joe Hendry?
TNA,
yeah, them too. Although Joe Hendry has signed a TNA and NXT contract, so he can go back and forth between both.
Yeah, what they using? They using TNA as a double A system now. Huh?
Sort of.
NXT's triple A, TNA's double A, which I don't really think is fair, because I think that TNA is fairly comparable, right? As far as their in-ring product and the types of storylines that they're able to put forth every week. I would even argue that they're closer to number 2 than Tony Khan and AEW is right now.
If TNA had a better had a better TV deal, I think that they would be AEW's number 1 competition. If say TNA had a slot on like the CW or something, like something that's near the level of a TNT or a TBS, I do think that they would have the 600, 700,000 viewers a week.
Well, the problem with that is that the ownership, the TNA ownership, Anthem, that Access network is one of their properties. If I'm correct.
No, you're right. It is.
So they're kind of getting in their own way here, because they obviously want Access to mean something to their network, to their portfolio. But wouldn't you want TNA to mean something to that network and that portfolio as well? And like,
well, and I think a lot of the problem is that Access is not in a lot of homes. Like, you have to get access.
I get it on my Fire Stick here. Like, it's just there.
I think I want to say I get it on like Roku. It's part of like the Roku TV, like the live TV on Roku. But it's not like, I don't know. It's something that's like it's less than, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not TBS, it's not TNT, it's not USA, it's not the CW, it's not.
And I think at this point, like, access is harder to find than just broadcasting your show on YouTube. I mean, I think that, you know, if you circle back a couple of years, you know, I for a long time there, for, you know, a pretty large window of time, I was pretty invested in what MLW was doing on YouTube. And then
same thing with what's it called? NWA was doing on YouTube. They were doing Power. It was great.
Power.
It was Power. It was great to have on YouTube. And then they got like a TV deal, and then they lost all their talent, and nobody's heard anything about NWA in years.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, wants to know: is there any money in 700K viewership, or do they just make their money from live shows? Well, really, there's money to be made there, but really, where the money is at, to my understanding, in pro wrestling, is in the ad revenue, and that. You know, that's why WWE is no longer going to be on the Fox network moving forward, because Fox found it very hard to sell advertising during that 8 to 10 window on Fox on Friday night during SmackDown, because wrestling's a hard sell. So I think that that's really where the bulk of the money can be made. But at the same point in time, you know, if we're talking ownership piece for TNA, the network owns the in-ring. So the in-ring is indicative of the network, and they kind of go hand in hand.
It's also important to point out that it to a network like Access, 700,000 viewers or something like that, even to like TBS, TNT, CW, anything close to that, like 500,000 or 1 million, is tremendous money. And in addition to that, you got to remember there's also YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok now, you know, streaming and revenue. So there's multiple sources for that
get in that game.
Yeah. So I mean, there's multiple sources for that stuff. So it's a matter of like, you take, like Walt said, all that in-ring stuff, and then you spread it everywhere. Because you can watch it live, but then, you know, you put your highlights up on YouTube, and that gets 1 million views. So, you know, and you put a couple other segments on there on YouTube. If you look down the WWE stuff that they post, all of those things within a week get 685,000, 700,000 views. Every single thing they put up there. So, I mean, imagine getting, you know, big YouTubers get maybe half of that. So, you know, even if you get a quarter of that, you're pulling in YouTube revenue. You're pulling in, you know, revenue from TikTok. You're pulling in Instagram, you know, advertisements and things like that. So it really is kind of a conglomerate more than just a like, here's what's on this one channel. Like, and that's good. You can then sell that product on that channel, because those channels can also, like WWE doesn't do it anymore, but those channels can also replay that stuff too. So it's like they've got it, and it's not like they had to produce. Wrestling's also very cheap to produce in comparison to, like, you know, what, you know, sitcoms used to be back in the day. There was a point in time, remember, like in the 90s, where the Friends on Friends were making $1 million an episode, all like 9 of them. So it was costing like $9 million an episode to make an episode of Friends. It costs a quarter of $1,000,000 to do a TNA, and probably not even that much to do a TNA show. Probably cost $10,000 or $15,000 to do a TNA show, you know? So it's the cost comparison too. So let's say, you know, maybe they get 500,000 viewers, but, you know, the rerun of the Big Bang Theory gets like 1 million or something. It's like, but it costs less too. So it's a cost benefit analysis as well.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is TNA, have they gone back to a residency now, as far as like being back in the quote unquote impact zone, or are they still traveling, or are they still a traveling show?
They were, I'm not sure. I know they were during the pandemic, and I'm not sure if they haven't come to Pittsburgh, because we would have seen some stuff for it. And, you know, there's plenty of little venues here. There's plenty of middle school gyms they could have played here. But you know, at the same time, no, I think they're firmly in the impact zone in Florida, which is also probably what benefits them on NXT as well, because they're right there.
Yeah, they can use. I think that was where the chatter between this relationship between TNA and NXT really kind of started to heat up was when Joe Hendry said, "Well, yeah, man, I get to come here every day now. Like, you'd be crazy to not come here every day."
Yeah.
And everybody was just kind of like,
yeah, they built that multi-million-dollar facility out there with the top of the line gym, top of the line, locker rooms and trainer facilities and all that stuff. And so it's like, oh, so what you're saying is I'm allowed in here where Shawn Michaels is teaching people how to wrestle. I don't care who you are in wrestling. If you walk in like, hey, do you want to sit in a class where Shawn Michaels is telling you how to get over?
Looks, get drive,
like,
girls.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? You wander right in, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to hang out with Shawn Michaels. This is only going to make me better. And I think WWE saw the saw the benefit of it too. It's like, well, these guys are only down there. I want to say they're in the same city or one city over now.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Fort Lauderdale.
NXT is based out of Orlando.
And I think TNA is in Fort Lauderdale. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. That's actually not that close.
No, I guess not. Where is TNA filmed? Universal Studios. Yeah, okay. So they're in Orlando too.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, that just makes
even
a ton
closer.
Of sense.
Yeah,
it's very reminiscent to when Paul Heyman and ECW were on the WWE payroll.
Yeah, but they were in Philadelphia in the ECW arena.
Right, but at that time, New York was the territory, so
they were in the New York territory,
and a lot of those guys were spending time at FCW. I'm assuming. Probably not FCW. Did they have OVW at that time?
OVW, yeah, it was OVW. FCW didn't come about till like 22, the mid late 2000s.
Okay. Hey, and since you.
Or no, middle early 2000s.
Okay, so I mean, then those guys were probably benefiting a little bit from some time at OVW, I would think, right? Maybe working, training a little bit. Probably not though. Knowing that crowd of guys,
Corny would have been in. That would have been when Cornette had OVW too.
Oh, then absolutely not, because the fucking Heyman and Cornette can't fucking stand each other.
No,
so,
yeah, they cannot.
Yeah, so there's that. I heard you mention. TBS, TNT, Warner Brothers Discovery. Did you hear that Tony Khan and one of the top executives, I think it was Zane Breslov, they were at the Olympics in Paris, and they woke up, found out that Warner Brothers Discovery was missing like $9.5 billion. Billion
with a B. Yeah, that's a big deal because it's what was it that wasn't it because it was yen. It was the yen, right? It wasn't worth as much.
Yes.
And they were like, oh, we're out $9 billion, which is awful for them.
It's awful for AEW because some of the news that I'm gathering coming out of this, and we've been kind of maybe misrepresenting ourselves over the last couple of episodes with them signing a new deal that was only worth $150 million. It sounds like there's still no television rights deal in place. And that this could deal a huge blow to that opportunity.
Yeah, if AEW doesn't have TV, I don't know what they got. I mean, I'm sure Tony Khan could find it somewhere, but it's not. If it's not on like a TBS or a TNT, that's going to be a big hit to them. I mean, maybe they'll find some time on, some of these places, because now that what NXT is going to the CW.
Yes.
SmackDown is going back to Fox, right?
SmackDown is going to USA.
USA, right. I'm smart. That's what I meant to say. SmackDown's going back to USA. And then and
Raw is going to
Netflix. So I'm thinking, man, I don't even know. I would almost think that like Tony's almost got to, if that falls through, he's almost got to rethink his strategy and just go streaming, try to like pull a Hulu deal or something and be like, we're going to put everything on Hulu or something like that, which would be good because then he'd have all that library of Ring of Honor to sell and everything as well. I think he'd have to do the pay-per-views on like Hulu as well. Maybe the pay-per-views are purely for like the Hulu, like the premium edition of Hulu, where it's like you pay for the live TV and stuff too. But man, I don't know. Like that would be a huge blow. But at that point in time, yeah, I mean, I think he's almost got to look to streaming services to be like, somebody pick me up, something like that, which is kind of a shame too. So I watched NXT. I did watch AEW this week, and I have to say, their women's division currently has the best storylines running that I can tell, besides what MJF is doing, because obviously MJF is a storyline unto and of himself. But with finally Mercedes Moné and Dr. Britt Baker and the addition of Camille as sort of Mercedes' enforcer, I'm liking that more than just letting Mercedes talk every week.
Oh yeah.
That's way better than that. I've been singing Tony
I sent
Storm.
you that. I sent you that TikTok this week. No, it was
of her talking to dead crowd.
The clip on the top, like the text on the top, was like Stone Cold Worthy Pop or some shit, and start watching it, and I'm like, okay, well, this is Mercedes. Like, what is going on here? And nothing. There was nothing going on. She's
that
like,
crowd is dead,
shooting these punchlines in this in-ring promo she's cutting, and the crowd's just like
nothing. I've heard rowdier golf crowds.
Yeah.
That was a rough. It was a rough watch. I felt bad for her. I felt bad watching it. But I think the addition of Camille and the feud with Dr. Britt Baker, where Britt's just popping out of places, has been a. It's not Mercedes that's making but it's adding Dr. Britt and Camille to these segments has made it a much better piece of booking. And the Tony Storm Mariah May stuff is very good. The rest of the show is still kind of the same, but they're really hurting without. As much as I like to rag on Kenny Omega, it was a much better product before he left. It was a much better product before he got hurt.
Did you just say that you missed Spirit Fingers McBang?
I think I do. After seeing what happened after he got hurt and it has been out. Yes, I miss Kenny Omega.
Do you miss him enough that if he comes back, he can win the world championship and have another run with it? Like maybe. Run at redemption in Tom's eyes?
Maybe. I think it would be okay for him to have a run at redemption. A redemption run would be good.
A redemption run, he says. Even though, like, you and I disagree wholeheartedly on the quality of Kenny Omega's title run in AEW.
I mean, it would be something. It would be better than whatever's happening with the Blackpool Combat Club, which is pretty much nothing now. Than whatever's I don't understand. Like, they have stars, but these people aren't on TV. But because they all sign part-time deals for tens of millions of dollars. Man, it's WCW Thunder all over is really what it is.
Because Tony's a fucking money mark.
I mean, yeah, it's WCW Thunder is what it is. I mean, the only guy that's working regularly, and I wish he wouldn't, was Chris Jericho at this point. Really, like, I give Jericho credit. He shows up to work, but kind of wish he wouldn't. Really.
Bro, his stuff, it's getting I swear it's getting harder and harder to watch him.
Buddy, I've been in that ship for a long time, but he's still showing up to work every week.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've definitely both been on the deck of that cruise, but I don't know, bro. Like, it's just I can appreciate that he's still willing to try and reinvent himself as campy and just awkward as this
the learning tree
gimmick is.
Can't imagine. Is that selling t-shirts? I can't imagine that selling t-shirts.
There's no way that it's selling t-shirts, especially not with Big Cass and fucking who's fuck.
I don't know I mean, who knows anybody besides he's Big Bill now. He's Bill. Big Bill.
Oh yeah, Big Bill. Sorry,
which is so much better than Big Cass.
Well, you can't teach that.
You can't. Man, they've got their two ladies segments cooking is all I'm saying.
Never in a million years did I think that those words would come out of your mouth when it came to AEW and the women's.
I'm telling you right now, the AEW women's division is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, because Sheeta's in Japan somewhere. Okay,
no, she showed up too this.
Oh,
she showed up too this week. Okay, so
jeez.
here's the other thing: is Shelby and I were talking because her English has gotten much better, but her English sounds like an American doing a bad Japanese accent.
Oh, like this?
Yes, it's exactly like that. Her English is an American doing a bad.
Well, there's my opportunity to get canceled this week.
There you go. It's your turn now.
Hey, if I'm gonna get canceled, we're gonna drink the good stuff, bud.
Oh, geez, the good stuff.
We're gonna drink the good stuff
now.
Hey, bub, I still have a full bottle with a fresh piece of foil waiting for you.
I know. Maybe now that it's about now that like softball's over, basketball's over, soccer's over.
Soccer's getting ready to start.
I don't have any practices scheduled yet.
I'm coaching too, Bob.
I got a couple weeks. I don't have any practices
scheduled yet. I got a couple practices.
I don't have to start till I think we start September 1st. Is what I'm allowed to be on the field.
Yeah, they told me to wait until the Monday after Labor Day.
Yeah, September 1st, I'm allowed to be on the field. I'm not going to be on the field September 1st, but probably going to be after Labor Day, but still. I think, but it'll be fine. And then we don't play any games until like the 15th or so. So like they'll be well in. Kids are about to go back to school. My sanity's about to come back. It's all going to be back.
Yeah, I had one of those days today, but we'll get into that later. But listen, I told you, man, I got one. I'm nursing this bottle right here, because I haven't had the opportunity to crack the other one. And I keep telling you, I'm not going to open it.
I know.
Until you and I, it's just.
I mean, we've been together. We've seen each other in person plenty of times. But I got to come to your house. I understand. I'll come over.
Yeah.
I'll come over.
Yeah. Come on now. I'm not going to play my trump card.
No.
Like.
Yeah. I'm just going to show up at my house with it.
Yeah.
Crazy
what the fuck. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, he's I'm excited for NXT tomorrow because I do want to watch that triple threat.
How good has Ethan Page been since making the jump to the Evil Empire?
So I've always thought Ethan Page was a good talker.
I was into the Karate Man gimmick he was doing in TNA.
Yeah. I thought he did a good job. But like he kept getting saddled with like bums. Like he was buddies with Matt Hardy, who was not like nobody was into in AEW. Although they gave Matt Hardy superpowers, he could teleport. Remember that? Remember when Matt Hardy could teleport for like a week?
Remember. Listen, the pandemic gave us lots of interesting superpowers. Let's not forget that R.I.P. Bray, the Fiend, was a fucking toaster strudel for like a month and a half.
He was. You're right. I forgot about that. He was all burnt up.
Like a bad piece of fried chicken. You know what I mean?
Randy Orton killed him. And we just went on with it. Like he came out murdered. Like he came out dead. Like he came out burned up.
And then just like walked through this like regeneration tube and at WrestleMania, and all of a sudden was just normal Fiend. And then Alexa Bliss started bleeding from her head.
And we haven't seen her since either.
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, goodness gracious, there's a whole hole in her fucking head. You know, I mean, we were able to save Chad Gable, but we couldn't clearly save Alexa Bliss too.
Save Alexa Bliss. Chad Gable died and came back the next week. Chad Gable must have some of them Rey Mysterio powers. Remember when they murdered Rey Mysterio?
Yeah, they threw him off a goddamn roof.
And Seth Rollins knocked his eyeball out. And that
was a thing.
That lasted about a month.
Buddy Murphy, but that was like the breakout of the Visionary. Now we've got this version of the Visionary, and I just don't. The Monday Night Messiah, like, oh yeah. Now, circle back around. I'm happy for Ethan Page, man. I think that he's an underrated talent, and like he's in a situation where he's going to succeed. Like they spotlighted him at SummerSlam.
He's clearly already succeeding. He's the champ.
Yeah,
that's how you succeed. You are the champ.
How long till we get a Ethan Page main roster call up? After the first of the year? Royal Rumble. He shows up Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah, I think he's definitely in the Rumble. I don't think he's a main roster talent until maybe SummerSlam. After SummerSlam,
really that long?
Yeah, I think he gets. I think he gets a good little feud run, probably about a year. Because remember, he really just got to NXT 3-4 months ago, so I think he gets maybe not that long. I don't know. Yeah, no, after SummerSlam next year, it'll be about a year.
A whole year?
About I think he'll spend a year in NXT. I think that makes sense.
You know what else has been really fun as far as the NXT, the NXT thing, the Andrade and Carmelo Hayes, this match that they put on this past week was fucking phenomenal. Again.
Oh yeah, these guys.
They just had that one stinker.
I think they had their first few because they had one.
That second match was dog shit because that first match was a fucking classic.
Well, they were in the Money in the Bank match together too, and that they were standouts in that too. And that's really where this whole feud began, was them in the Money in the Bank. And then they had that first match that was good. Second match was not good. Recent match, much better. I think they're starting to kick off. And I've always liked both of those guys. Really liked Andrade when he was the NXT champ. Carmelo, I didn't so much like his NXT champ run, but I liked his international championship run.
Yeah.
I like his mid-card title run. And I've liked just about everything.
Carmelo, yeah.
And I've liked just about everything.
His world title run was good.
It was okay.
I mean,
he didn't have any real good opponents, I think was mostly the problem. Like the feud with Trick.
He stopped retiring jerseys when he became the world champion. When he was the North American champion, he was retiring jerseys. That was
cool. Like that was a cool run. His NXT title run was okay. It felt like almost more like his NXT title run was like to get Trick Williams over, which they sort of did, but I don't know. I'm not that into Trick Williams, I guess.
Do you remember when NXT had fucking Drew McIntyre, Andrade, and Aleister Black at the top of the fucking card?
And then Adam Cole showed up.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then shortly after that, Tommaso Ciampa had one of the best NXT title runs that's ever happened ever.
God, man.
And that was after Ciampa was already like, remember when Ciampa was a bad guy? You're the devil, Ciampa. And he came out to no music. He would just walk out dragging the title.
I can't wait for him and Gargano to split on the main roster. They're gonna play the same game. They have to, right? Like
that's what
the mainstream audience. They have to play the same angle.
It's one of those things where it's like when you go out to see Metallica and you want them to play the hits. It's that. It's exactly what that is. Play the hit. Turn on each other.
So, God, it just feels like we just need one more piece on the main roster, and that's the return of one Aleister Black. And I think that we've got, buddy. Listen,
I wouldn't mind seeing Buddy come back too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, they could bring back Brody King too. I'd take all three of them. I love Brody King.
Does Brody King fit into today's WWE as a monster?
I don't know, but I think you could just put him out there anyway. I don't care.
Because I mean, you got Braun Strowman that's the monster of all monsters, and he gets 10 minutes a month,
maybe, if that.
I think the big guys that are being pushed right now are the more athletic big guys like Bronson Reed. I would even venture to say Braun Breaker, but I wouldn't really classify him as
Braun Breaker's so good.
Big man.
Otis so good.
Otis is getting another push. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that Brody King fits.
Well, I think if you just bring him in as like Aleister Black's enforcer, I think that's fine. He just stand back there and look scary, smash people occasionally, because he's a pretty athletic dude too.
No, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I don't know, man. I've been super critical of Bronson Reed since his NXT days, and I mean he's got my attention.
I've always thought he was great.
Yeah, you absolutely have. And
Because
I've been super.
tsunamis. Man, he's big, just fucking big men smashing other big. I love it.
There's so much fun happening in WWE for like a full on like wrestling mark. There's so much good happening from the top of the card to the absolute bitty bottom of the card. Um,
CM Punk's out here with a strap, like he and Drew are gonna have a strap match.
oh God.
Anyway, go on about that. What, you don't want to see a strap match? You don't want to see them have a strap match where they have to touch the four corners?
April. Google the worst gimmick match of all time, please.
Well, that would be the Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
No, I would rather watch a Judy Bagwell on a fucking pole match because at least she was fucking entertaining while she was standing her fucking chunky middle-aged ass up there. Ah! Ah!
Maybe the Viagra on a pole match.
Okay, you can't include Vince Russo on a pole matches. Okay.
Okay. I mean, the Viagra on a pole match is like,
God, he said it again.
It's notoriously like the worst. The match itself actually is not that bad. If you go back and watch it, it's actually not that bad. But the gimmick itself, because it was never clear what they were supposed to do with this Viagra. Were they supposed to take it in the ring and then get an erection? And like, is that what was supposed to happen? Or like, because what actually happened was like, Billy Kidman took it and smacked it off his head. But like, I don't think that was what was. It smacked it up. It was Shane Douglas, right? Yeah, he smacked it off Shane Douglas's head. But like, and pills went everywhere. But like, I don't know what was actually supposed to happen after.
I don't think they did either.
I don't
Vince
think
Russo definitely had his best cocaine Tony going on that day. That's
was like
really
one of
the only explanation for that.
the end of the match was like the puppy caught the car, and now he had no idea what to do about it. So he just smacked it off his head.
Yeah, but like I think that, you know, from the standpoint of the card top to bottom, WWE's got it just. They have my attention from the start of a show to the end of the show, like front, middle, and end. Something that they've rarely been able to do, but they got me. They've got me right now. And then we get into the middle of the card with L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
I think that, man, there's just so much talent going on right now. And if I'm Tony Khan, I'm worried about the way that
your talent doesn't show up on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, like I'm.
You're not there.
I don't know how.
Other than Chris Jericho,
I don't know how this guy sits there every day in his office and he looks over the spreadsheets of the numbers that he inevitably gets every single week, whether it be payroll or ratings or incoming, outgoing, you know, whatever. And he's like, "Hey, man, we're doing a great job.
This is awesome.
Like,
so good."
I don't know how he can do that, but somehow he continues to give us his best car salesman, saying that everything's great and that this is the best piece. This is the best car on the lot, and that it's going to get all this great fuel economy for a very low cost. And it nickel and dimes you to fucking death. And then we're sitting here crying to fucking a football show that everybody wants AEW to fail, and all he does is battle detractors.
I mean, I feel like Tony spends way too much time on Twitter, if I'm being honest. But honestly, Twitter is like it seems to be very, I'm sorry, X, but it seems to be very AEW friendly. Like the AEW marks really attack people when you're like, yeah, this show was boring. They're like, you fucking fed Mark, you fucking E-Stan, like all this. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like this was a snooze fest, homie. Like I just look at the cards sometimes. The cards for Rampage are ridiculous. Like, I pulled up
Is
the
that
card.
still on TV?
It's apparently so. It's still on TV. The cards for Rampage are ridiculous. Like, they post them all the time. It's like, we'll hear from, oh God, who do we even hear from? It's like, we're going to hear from Sammy Guevara. Okay. Or no, last week it was, we'll hear from Dustin Rhodes. And then there was
Now
a
he's
bunch
a ROW or ROH
yeah, he
tag
and
team
Sammy
champion.
Guevara, they won
Yeah.
on Saturday, won the ROH tag team championships.
Hey, Bub, I know that Dustin, I know that your brother's trying to get you to come back. Okay, I know it, but like, you're happy here, man. Like, you're happy here, right? Like, you can't go. If you leave, my women's division's gonna go to shit. Like, you can't leave me, man. Like, how about Sammy Guevara, Ring of Honor tag team champions? What do you think? Huh? Yeah, that's great. That's good shit, pal.
Good shit, pal.
I don't get it, bro.
Buddy, it's not worth getting. It's like one of those things where it's like, you see it. That match in and of itself was fine. I'm not really sure where that came from. Dustin will be in the next Rumble. So, Pat Martin says Dustin will be in the next Rumble. I wouldn't hate that if he showed up as Gold Dust and they'd give him the whole intro with the gold like flakes.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
I would pop real hard, and that's all.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to have a run or anything.
Shattered
like
Dreams
that.
in the corner.
Shattered Dreams. Give it the whole. Just give it the whole thing. Just me and Walt and Pat. Ugh. No, Pat Martin. Even better, Pat. Ashley got me a beer.
Oh, that's swell.
Isn't
I'll get myself a whiskey.
a whiskey? But yeah, I mean, I would love it. Yeah, just Shattered Dreams. He can get eliminated. And you know what? Braun Breaker should eliminate him. That'd be great. Braun Breaker should have the standout this year. He gets like 14 eliminations or whatever. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
What's the record? 14?
I don't remember what it is. Maybe it's 14 or 15. I think that's Roman Reigns has that.
I think it's tied. It's like him and Brock.
Yeah, maybe, because I know Kane was like number one for like a lot of years with
11 or 12. Braun Strowman beat it too. He got like 13 or 14 also. So yeah, you're right. It's probably like 15.
Yeah, but he got that in the
greatest Royal Rumble.
Greatest Royal Rumble, and I'm sorry, but that don't count. Okay,
you're right. It doesn't count.
We get Titus World Slide as a Royal Rumble top 10 every single year, and I don't think it should be in there. I don't think it should count,
because that was also greatest Royal Rumble. You know, remember who they wanted in that? They wanted a bunch of dead people. They wanted Yokozuna. Cheers, Pat.
Cheers, bub.
They wanted Yokozuna. Who else? Other dead people. They wanted the Ultimate Warrior. He had just died recently. They wanted who else? Macho Man, who was also dead.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
The original Blood Money show.
Mm-hmm. Still don't watch those. I know.
I just don't really know what is left for AEW at this point. Like, I hate to be negative about it, because there's a lot of guys over there that I think have a lot of talent, that deserve a fighting chance to be great. But the way Tony Khan's booking things for like the Twitter and like, it's just not for me, man. Like, I'm sure that there's a segment of fans out there, and like, I still try to watch it. I don't watch it religiously these days, because it just doesn't do it for me. And again, there's a lot of guys over there that I like, that I think are very talented at what they do. They just,
guys I wish had better. Like, I feel like if they gave Malachi Black and the House of Black a run of like just dominance, like they did, not exactly with the Bloodline, but like, you know, maybe make them dominant on Saturday.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, have them just terrorize the whole show. They have the opening segment. one of them's in the main event. They terrorize the whole show. And,
They did a little bit of that, and then fucking Cody beats Malachi Black.
Yeah. And
on
lit
what we
himself
find
on
out
fire.
is Cody's way out the door.
Yeah. That was when Cody lit himself on fire with a plastic table. Got plastic table stuck to him that was still on fire. It was that exactly. And they've been cooled off since then. It's been little spurts here and there. Julia Hart had a fun little run, but we've not seen hide nor hair of her or Sky Blue really. Like they were a big deal for a little bit. We haven't really seen them in a couple months.
I mean, they showed Sky Blue last time I watched, and like she was just normal.
Yeah, like there was no,
like, not even in the House of Black anymore.
No, well, when she wasn't even because Julia Hart's hurt or something, so they just moved on. And I feel like that's the other thing that happens too is that, like, I mean, I don't know but like it seems like they're super injury prone over there too. Like people get hurt and are gone
because everybody's dropping everybody on their fucking heads, Bob.
It's you're right.
Don't you know AEW is where the best wrestle?
Yeah, and that's been the problem is that like they can't get any cohesion. I mean, has Adam Cole been on TV in a month? He wasn't this last week when I watched. And I mean, I don't watch religiously, so maybe I missed it. I didn't watch Friday. Maybe he was there, but
I mean, I keep up with the dirt sheets, and I haven't seen.
I've not seen him. Like he had like a undisputed kingdom, and that seems to be non-existent. Like they don't have any titles anymore.
Fucking everybody's got a title over their butt. Like I mean, there's got to be a couple people that don't.
I mean, didn't Bennett and the other guy have the Ring of Honor title
for a little while now? Sammy Guevara and
but they weren't even the ones that lost it, were they?
I don't fucking know, bro. That would have required me to have watched Ring of Honor.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
all I know is AEW's got one of their 4 pillars in their little baby brother promotion as a champion right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Things can't be great on that side of the ball.
I wish they were. I wish it was good. Why isn't it good? It was at least it started off running, and now it just has no traction. Like I can't.
It's because Tony Khan does blow like Scarface. I mean,
I'll tell you what I saw today. Brian Danielson is not currently under contract.
No.
Now he's wrestled recently.
Yeah.
But he's not currently under contract. No. What the fuck? Why not?
He's ready to retire, bro.
Because he's been dropped on his head 10,000 times, and maybe he doesn't want to die on TNT for 500,000 people.
Now, I'm sure you could slide Ric Flair right into that spot, and he'd be willing to die on TNT in front of 500,000 people.
Would be his favorite thing.
That'd be a warrior's death for a guy like Ric Flair.
Sure would be.
You know, he already tried that once, and he charged us $29.95 for it.
Sure did,
and we were close. We were close. Almost happened.
Twice, actually. He passed out twice. Did he have a stroke? He had a stroke in the ring?
There was some sort of cardiac event.
Heart
they
attack.
were able to go and just magically pull his rhythm from inside the ring during that time, and tell him that he had a cardiac event during the match.
He clapped.
Yeah. I believe in Ric Flair.
That's what brought him back to life. It was Joe Hendry, actually.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry brought him back. See, we brought it full circle. Joe Hendry brought him back to life.
Oh,
Rick looks great. Actually, he and Charlotte were hanging out this week. Charlotte looks great.
Yeah, she does.
She's rehabbing that knee. Almost ready. I think she's almost ready to be back.
You know the internet's all over her, right?
For what?
A bunch of people are saying that there isn't a place for her in this women's division.
I'm pretty sure Charlotte's going to show back up and create her own place for herself. Okay. Look, we're We need not worry about where Charlotte Flair fits in. Okay, let's just be fair.
I'm just telling you. She addressed it on her own Instagram.
Well, I'm just telling you that the internet's wrong because Charlotte Flair.
Are they though?
No, yes. Charlotte Flair will show up, get a huge pop.
Will she though?
Yes. But from me.
Listen, I love and respect Charlotte Flair like nobody.
Look, buddy, I don't know about you, but I don't know if you followed Charlotte Flair on Instagram while she rehabbed her knee, but it was goddamn inspirational.
I mean, she's a fucking machine, bro.
Inspirational.
But you know what they say? The machine keeps on rolling. And the machine has kept on rolling in her stead. And there may be, whether you want to hear it or not, some traction to the faction that she might not have a place.
I think she'll be okay. Honestly.
Who are you going to take off TV?
Who's saying you got to take anybody off TV? Just give somebody a little bit less time.
Oh, so we're going to fuck somebody else's opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what we're going to do.
Oh, so who are you going to give less time to?
Who am we going to? Naomi. We're going to give Naomi less time. We're going to take Naomi off TV.
That's fair. But she doesn't fit in with Jade and Bianca.
That's fine. In fact, you can put her in a tag team with some. Asuka's hurt right now.
I'm lucky for her because Damage Control sure as fuck don't have no TV time.
Aren't they the tag champs right now?
They are not.
Who the fuck's the tag champs right
now? The European chicks.
Oh,
Isla
right.
Dawn and
right. They just debuted Odyssey Jones as the third member of the New Day. Well, not just, but like last week. And
wah, wah, wah.
I mean, it got a lot of hits on. I don't know why, like they're dressed as Ninja Turtles, but he's out there in like a blue singlet. They really should have let him dress like a Ninja Turtle. Also,
I'm good.
Really?
Why?
Why not? Because he's hanging out with the New Day. Let him be a Ninja Turtle.
The New Day's
why
not.
The new... There's 4 Ninja Turtles.
Okay. Is Odyssey Jones dressed as 2 of them?
I mean, he could. That actually would have been way better. Now that you've said that, that would have been great because we got Kofi dressed as Michelangelo over here. We got Austin Creed over here.
Yeah, this right here, bro. Like it's like he read my mind. Like I was gonna let you say what you were saying, and like I was gonna say this. It's like you read my mind. I don't know what you want me to do. What? Who cares? You're wasting Odyssey Jones at this point. I love Kofi Kingston and Woods. Okay? But it's time to move on.
Maybe.
No, maybe about it. Maybe they're enhancement talent, bud.
Well, they are. Well, they're getting carrying crossover. Nobody else could. Somehow
are they? Because I feel like we thought we were getting there. And like,
no, he's been doing. This has been much better since he's been.
So everybody's just lost their patience with Kevin. That's all that has happened here. They're tired of waiting, and you and I remain optimistic. But everybody else in the internet wrestling world is just done.
Done with Kevin.
They're just done with Kevin. We were done with Kevin months ago, and Triple H stayed at it. We got to get past the gimp mask. That's all he kept saying. That's all he says to Kevin every week. They have a meeting, and he's like, "Hey, don't forget, we're here to get over the gimp mask."
It's like, do you think that? I don't know. So it seems like what they're trying to do is to put Kofi versus Woods. And have that be a thing, and have that be the finality of the New Day. You think that's going to happen?
I mean, cool. I would watch them wrestle one match.
One time. That's all we need to see.
Don't give me a trilogy. I don't need it.
No,
I don't want that.
I don't think they're.
I don't necessarily need the little bit of Mrs. Dash that they're going to put on Woods and Kofi. But who cares, man? There's so much other stuff to care about.
There, you're right. There is, and I feel like we're like this is like we're at the 9:25 mark, which is right about halfway through Raw.
Yeah, it's like I gotta go pee, man.
This is the go pee mat because it's a 3-on-3. It's Kevin with the Authors of Pain, who we have discussed at length at being the
Kevin and the fucking Kevin and the Thundering Herd,
the Thunder. The fattest out of shape tag team in the history of fat out of shape tag teams. They make the Nasty Boys look like marathon runners.
How dare you disrespect the Nasty Boys? Okay, no. I am not under any circumstance going to sit here and allow you to trash the Nasty Boys.
No, okay. They were the Authors of Pain before the Authors of Pain were the Authors of Pain. They just didn't have Paul Ellering.
They had Jimmy Hart. Okay,
yeah. Those motherfuckers were basically out of shape, Rocksteady and Bebop. For talking about Ninja Turtles,
but they were dope.
No, they were on dope.
One of the greatest heel wrestling tag teams of all time.
Fucking losers is what they were.
And they were perfect for their gimmick, bro.
Fat, smelly losers.
They were perfect for their gimmick. They just beat the fuck out of people, talked shit while they were doing it, and then as soon as somebody stood up to them, they were chicken shits.
Mm-hmm.
They were perfect.
Okay.
Listen, the Nasty Boys fucking stands up today in your adult life. If you go back and you watch the Nasty Boys in your adult life, you will have a different opinion than you do right now.
Okay, maybe it was 10-year-old me that thinks the Nasty Boys suck, and maybe that's just because they did their job. Maybe. Do you notice when I make a point, I make the metal fingers? I don't do this. I do this.
Yeah,
I just noticed that. But anyway, what a rush. I mean, obviously they were great. Road Warriors? Who doesn't love the Road Warriors? Single greatest tag team of all time.
Hey, I got to run some towels up. Hold it down for 32 seconds.
All right, I'll hold it down. I'm going to talk about the Road Warriors for 30 seconds. So Hawk and Animal, goddamn fucking superheroes on television. Who does not love the Road Warriors? These guys came out in big red and black spikes with face paint. They were jacked as hell. They looked like they were 3 people wide and 2 people tall. They were just like, they walked out and just, and like, good Lord, was Hawk a monster. Best tag team ever, Goldust and Stardust. See, I don't know that I love that, really. Goldust, I did like. Do you remember when Pat, we're just going to do the show with Pat now. Pat, do you remember when Goldust and Val Venus were a tag team? Because that, sir, was quite a tag team of debauchery during the dirtiest part of the Attitude Era. And they pretty much only got time on Sunday Night Heat at like 7 p.m. So like 12-year-old me watched that on Sunday at like 7 p.m. It was like, and just, oh man, was that good. Like that was some good stuff right then and there. Good, and Walt's back. So Pat and I have determined that the other greatest tag team of all time was Goldust and Val Venus on Sunday Night Heat in the late 90s.
I mean, that was pretty good too.
It was because it was on at like 7 p.m. and he was all like, and there was a guy with a towel who was like, I got a big wiener, but like at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. The 90s were wild.
Boski.
Yeah, the 90s were wild, bro. They're just wild.
The 90s were wild. Yes, Pat, I do remember when Goldust had the stutter.
That was a good gimmick too. I mean, it wasn't. We couldn't do that. You couldn't do that today.
I was just getting ready to say things you couldn't do today.
I mean, basically the entire run of Goldust you couldn't do today. I'm not sure you could do it then, but they did. You came out with a gag ball
when he was the artist formerly known as Goldust.
Yeah. He was on a leash with the gag ball. And Terry Runnels is on the.
No, it wasn't Terry at that point. It was Luna.
It was Luna. You're right. Oh my god. What a
wild time. What a wild time to be a wrestling fan.
Could we bring him back? I think bringing him back for one more Royal Rumble. Just play all the hits. Give him 30 seconds.
Yeah, he said he'd never come back.
Yeah, but he could say that, and then like then in like the thing like I did it for Cody. But meanwhile,
hey Pat, they already did that, bud.
Yeah, they did that. That already happened. Miz and Logan Paul. That was Logan Paul's introduction.
Yeah,
that's how Logan Paul got in.
Yeah, sorry to put you on blast, Bob, but they already did that.
That worked. It was great though. It worked great.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it got Logan Paul over.
I mean, it worked. I mean, the Miz is like the king of getting people over like that. Like you just put the Miz in. You just put the Miz somewhere like Miz.
Yeah, bro, about 2 years late.
Yeah, you just put the Miz in. And you're like, Miz, get this over, and he just does it. It just happens, and it's over.
Just happens.
All right.
Hey man, I think that there's still, like as good as everything has been in the past. I think everything's been on a new playing field now, right? Like, we talk about the New Day being dead and, all the great things that LA Knight's doing. Then you look at somebody like Braun Breaker that's just smashing motherfuckers, right?
Oh, man.
And then obviously you've got Gunther as the world champion. You got Cody with the North Star of our business, as he says. Roman's back and Civil War is building.
How great has all that been?
Can I be honest with you?
Please do, because I might disagree with you.
I feel like Roman's been a little corny.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with you because I think it's been when Roman showed up, I got chills.
No, it was dope. Don't get me wrong.
He got beat up, and then he got beat up. He got beat up last week. Which I kind of thought was cool. I like that.
He's not said a word yet.
He's not. That's why I don't think he's been corny. I just think he's showed up. And like Solo's been selling. Solo's a star now to me. Like I was skeptical before until Roman showed up, and I saw Solo like, I'm a tribal chief. Like I love that. I love it. Tonga Loa, however, has been the weak point. Is the weak link.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I asked you, is he just trolling us, or is he just that bad? He's just that bad.
He's just that bad. He's the weak link in this. They're gonna
the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Okay, like we thought it was funny, haha. He was trolling us, missing cues, and doing all these things, and then
have you seen the low blow and all instead like punch his brother in the head?
Have you seen the TikTok of him like some of these moments from New Japan? Like he is not new to this fuckery world.
No, he's not new to wrestling.
But he's not new to fucking up either.
Yeah,
a lot of botches. Okay, a lot of mistimed things.
He's a botch machine.
But you want to know what broke the absolute camel's back? The thing that just made me go, man, I feel bad that they're paying him, is whenever he lifted the tag title up over his head. And it was
upside
like
down?
14 inches the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
off to one side. Hey, bub, have you never held a title up before? You never had a championship up? Like, I take my belt off at the end of the day. Yeah.
Maybe practice.
Like,
Give it a once. Give it a once over.
what are we doing?
I mean, obviously, it's obvious why he's here.
Is it? I don't think that it is.
I mean, it's because they want his brother, and his brother was like, "All right, you got to bring my brother," and they were like, "Fuck, fine." You gotta bring the shitty one.
He's like the little brother that you give the unplugged Xbox controller to.
It's exactly what he is. It's exactly what he's holding the Xbox controller with no batteries in it.
But for whatever reason, we put some batteries in it this past week and asked him to hold a title up. I don't.
Fuck that up too.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. You fucked that up too. I love how the internet's still like, oh, he's just trolling us. Like, no, bro, he's retarded. Like, he's not.
We thought he was trolling us a couple weeks ago.
No,
like, we were in agreement that we were being trolled. But no.
Now I'm pretty sure it's that. Like, now he's somebody dropped him on his head too many times when he was a kid. He's just not.
So, obviously, we've got the new iteration of the bloodline. Roman's been coming out, cocking the fist, doing the whole fucking big dog gimmick. I thought he had a fucking bulletproof vest on the other day, on Friday when he came out and he had that hoodie on with no sleeves. I thought he had a goddamn bulletproof vest on again.
Do you think John Moxley was going to show up? That would be good because John Moxley doesn't show up on Wednesdays anymore, so maybe he'd show up on Friday.
I saw him and I went, oh no. And then I realized it was a hoodie and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm just worried they're going to neuter him because they want him to be a babyface.
Will they? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he needs to be a babyface. I think he needs to be like.
He's listed on their call sheet as a babyface based on what the internet would have you believe.
I mean, I don't know. I guess Solo's a heel and the Tongas are a heel or heels and Jacob Fatu's a heel. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, it's going to be one of those things though. He's going to show up. The Usos are going to show up with him and it's all going to go down. But they're going to be, they're going to be losing the numbers battle. Oh, the numbers. There's 4-on-3. It's just too many. And then at some point, if you smell, and then the roof's gonna explode, and
and then he's gonna side with them.
Who the bloodline? Yeah, maybe that'd be sweet.
That's the only logical thing for me is that he sides with Solo and them.
That'd be so good. Oh my God. I'd melt. If that happened, I'd be like, I'd crumble. And then like Roman has to build the empire. With more people.
You said it.
I did say it.
You said it. Why would you do that?
Because
somebody in commentary said something about the Roman Empire on fucking.
That's why I said it.
Was that Graves? I think that was Graves.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bud. Okay, no.
Hey, look. Speaking of Pittsburgh heroes, we got Pittsburgh heroes on commentary. I'm also a goddamn Pittsburgh hero over here.
Pat McAfee said he's going to take some time off, huh?
Yes, this is his last week on Raw for a little while. Well, it's because College Game Day is starting back.
Yeah, well, he held off on that College Game Day decision for quite some time. Really felt like he was going to dedicate his time to WWE. And, I mean, it sounds to me like ESPN had to throw him a pretty big deal, number to get him to do that. Because
I think they offered him a dollar amount that he couldn't refuse. And I think he called Triple H and was like, they're offering me this much. Can I come back later? and Triple H went, all right, we'll sort it out. And he went, thank you. I love you. Goodbye. And Like that has to be what it was. And also he's taking Sheamus with him because they're kicking it off in Dublin, Ireland. So he's taking Sheamus with him to kick it off. So tying it in a little bit. But yeah, it's a shame because man, has Pat been great on Mondays.
Yeah.
Raw is so much better with Pat on it.
The show's definitely benefit when he's on commentary.
And I don't know what they're gonna redo. I think you put Graves back on Monday, and then you put just go back to what it was, because you got Wade and Graves on Fridays, right? So I think you put Wade with, or maybe you put Graves with what's his face? Is Kevin Patrick still around?
No.
They fired Kevin Patrick.
Yep.
They got fired. They got to find somebody then. No,
well, they got that new cat. I can't remember who it is. So they got to figure out where he's going to fit in.
I mean, there's people. I'm sure they'll figure it out. Maybe they'll get Taz. That'd be great. Then we get Bubba Ray back. Taz, my balls. I want one more Taz, my balls. That's what I want.
Oh, buddy boy, what am I going to do with you?
Taz, my balls. That's one more.
My big burning question for you, what does a civil war look like?
Can we drag it all the way to War Games? Or you give it
in the grand scheme of things, War Games isn't that far away.
We do what during Survivor Series, which is
November. It's really not that far away.
No, yeah, I think it ends up at War Games, so it has to end up 5-on-5.
Is that long enough to build this civil war?
Yeah, I think so. I think any longer than that. So I think you do that, and then I think you have the blow off between Solo and Roman. So So I think it's long enough to get to that, and then I think that you have Solo versus Roman in it. Maybe the main event of the Rumble. Maybe for a title shot of some capacity, depending on where that is at that point.
I don't know. That might work.
I don't know. Do you bring Brock Lesnar back maybe at that point?
I keep hearing that's a thing, that he is available, but Brock's return is up to Brock. I don't know.
I hate to see Brock as part of that. I love me some Brock Lesnar.
Has there been enough time on the incident blowback?
On the Janelle Grant stuff? Yeah, that seems to be falling apart a little bit, honestly. Her case seems to be, not to be, insensitive about it, but her case seems to be falling apart a little bit. I don't know how much of it you've been following, but there's
not really been keeping up with it too much.
There's been a good bit of contradiction, mostly on her attorney's part, and it doesn't seem to be panning out evidence-wise, and the story seems to change a little bit here and there. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying that if it all went down the way that everybody says it went down, obviously it's terrible. I'm just saying that it seems to be sort of becoming a non-thing. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if there's some bomb, but it seems like if there was some bombshell, I think all the bombs have already dropped. You know what I mean? And I don't think.
We know one bomb that dropped for sure. Heyo,
Vince McMahon pooped on a girl's head. I think that's really the straw that broke the camel's back. If we're being honest, it's really the turd that broke the poop deck.
Oh, come on!
It's really
you can't say those things, bro.
The cannonball that sunk the ship.
Say does it again. I just, that's
it's still funny.
That's not as bad as, I hope he loses by one vote in Pennsylvania, but
I still hope he loses by one vote.
Good God, bro. Good God.
Actually, I hope he loses by 50 million votes in Pennsylvania.
Okay. We're not doing this right now. All right.
No, we're not. But that's fine.
I'm winding down for the day here, pal. Okay,
All right,
I
all right.
don't have the gumption to combat you right now.
Deal with me. Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. Now, most people don't have the gumption to deal with me.
I mean, generally, I do a pretty good job of keeping you in line when it
You
comes to
do. I
that
took
kind
a
of
nap
stuff.
today. I took a
Okay,
nap today.
I
All right.
did not. I had the kids
Okay.
all day.
Well, just
Okay,
to put it into perspective, what kind of stank I got on it. A little bit of.
hence why I'm drinking the good stuff this
There
evening.
you go.
I mean, I am
nap
mixing a
today.
little. I am mixing in a little bottom shelf, top floor, but
Yeah, well,
so
the top
I
floor of
don't.
the bottom shelf is still pretty good.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I don't know, man. I'm really interested in where the bloodline storyline is going to continue to go. I believe that
How
we're
many
going to
more
get.
Samoans we got?
I mean, you got Zilla Fatu still out there, who is
Still out
Umaga's
there.
son.
He is. Yeah.
He's out there. He's available, but there's the internet's starting to speculate because Jey Uso is working a little bit of red into the back of his hair. Some red dye into the back of his hair.
Oh, we're definitely getting Jay and Jimmy back. Like
I think
that's for sure.
so. The internet wrestling community would have you believe
Sammy, do we pull Sammy back?
that Jey Uso is not over.
I don't know. They're wrong. I watched Jey Uso come out at WrestleMania and blow the roof off the joint. That wasn't that long ago. He's not done much since then, but I think that's just because they're trying to wrap that. Like, wrestling takes time, and they're wrapping the story around. So yeah, they're kind of keeping Jay out of major things so they can pull him in with Roman, but like, Jay's over. It's gonna happen. Like, Jay's gonna come out and make a save or something, or come out to like during a promo. Exactly. Yeet. Jay's gonna come out and down since day one. It's just me, Oos. Like, we're gonna get that, and it's like the ropes, especially with Roman in the ring. I think Sammy's gonna come out too, because the honorary Oos. I think it's going to be a big throwback kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. We have enough Samoans. We might. Are there 10 Samoans? We got 10.
Well, I mean, you got 4 on TV right now. You've got The Rock. You got 5 on TV right now. You've got The Rock. Then you've got Jimmy and Jay. And then you throw Sammy in there. That's 9.
Yeah, we just need one more. Good, like Zilla. I mean, I would be great to throw in like a. It'd be cool if they threw in like a Brock Lesnar, but at the same time, like,
what if Seth Rollins comes back to battle the final boss?
Dun-dun, dun-dun. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool too. I mean, there's a lot of options. Do you bring all the Samoans in? I feel like Roman's got to have all Samoans though to get the tribal chief thing back. So maybe we got to get in a Zilla Fatu. There's got to be another one, right?
I read a thing today on the internet that said that Roman Reigns has made the Ulafala the most meaningful title in all of WWE.
I don't know about all that, but sure, maybe. I mean, his father and his uncle died, so that's like.
Yeah, R.I.P. Wild Samoans.
Yeah, R.I.P. Alpha. Alpha died this week. Tika died what? A month ago?
A month or 2.
Yeah, so it's been. It
was after WrestleMania.
Yeah, right after. Like, yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't. It was like the summer. It was like June. Maybe it was even July. But yeah, R.I.P. Wild Samoans. Obviously, they had, their run wasn't great, but their children had phenomenal runs.
I mean, I don't think it's fair to say the Wild Samoans run wasn't great.
I mean, it was a long. Their run was long, I guess. Yeah. They started in the territories. They were in WCW. They were in WWF. They were tag champs both places. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
I usually am. So I don't know, man. Lots of fun stuff to really look forward to. As I say every week, I really hope AEW is able to get their shit together. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Not really much drama this week. I mean, we touched on a little bit of it. Obviously TBS $9.5 billion just missing all of a sudden.
So can I touch on that a little bit too? Because so Warner Brothers Discovery, as all of that is a big conglomerate, right? And they also have a video game under end. Part of what that 9 million was that they released like several Batman tie-off stinker games. Suicide Squad, that game flopped real hard. I actually liked Gotham Knights from 2 years ago, but like even that was like not that didn't do so well. Mortal Kombat, which I love, is also under the WB moniker now. Love Mortal Kombat. It's doing okay, not as well as the previous Mortal Kombat. Love Mortal Kombat, but like their video games division has also done terribly. So the fact that WB is just like tanking is both like sort of a blessing and a curse to me, because it's like they've got all of these properties that I love, right? And all of these things that I want to succeed and I want good things to come out of, whether it be Batman, Mortal Kombat, Superman, all of DC really, Lord of the Rings, and obviously AEW in that. But like the fact that all of WB is sort of like taking a shit right now, and that's the HBO is encompassed in that too. So hopefully like the success of like some of the more recent HBO shows like House of the Dragon, which did very well, Last of Us, which did very well, and stuff like that. Hopefully that like kind of holds it up a little more so that they can gain some traction and like stop fucking up, because that's what they're doing right now is just fucking up. Can be a thing, but like Warner Brothers is about to really like kind of fuck, like if they go down, like they're kind of about to like screw up like a lot of things that are cool. And so like hopefully like AEW is not caught in that crosshairs, but it seems like they might be also. So that's like, yeah.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. It's going to be an interesting time in the business world of the wrestling business, especially where AEW is concerned. And obviously we're 3 months away from WWE starting into new unfamiliar territory with Netflix and, folks having to pay for a premium network to watch a show that's been free for 30 years. Interesting times afoot in the pro wrestling business. And we're going to make sure that we keep a very vigilant eye and a very, very well manicured ear to the ground on all of those things.
Pay for Netflix, aren't I?
I already pay for Netflix, so
that's the one thing I don't pay for, but that's all right. I will. I'm going to end up.
And you're one of how many other folks out there? You know what I'm saying?
Probably a gazillion, since whenever the last season of Stranger Things ended 3.5 years ago, I would imagine there's probably about 400 million people who have stopped paying for Netflix. But when Raw goes back to it, it's like, all right, I guess I'll watch. And then magically, oh, hey, here's the last season of Stranger Things also. And I'll be like, oh, it took Monday Night Raw to finally bring back Stranger Things.
Crazy.
Right. Crazy.
It's going to be interesting moving forward. Hey, Bob, we're at a very pivotal part of our journey where there's only one piece of business left.
This is cheating, but my match this week was a banger after banger after banger. We finally got a cool Sheamus versus Pete Dunne match. It kicked off Raw tonight, and it was the first match, and it did not disappoint. Pete Dunne had a little stutter at the end, and he got a brogue kick right to the face, but it was a great match from start to finish. Wasn't too long, wasn't too short. They went high intensity the whole time. Love that Sheamus can still do this shit, like, God, whatever, 30 years into his career. And it was awesome. It was awesome. It was some of the best work Pete Dunne's done. Love that Pete Dunne's back as the bruiserweight.
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne. And love Sheamus. Love Sheamus on this last couple years. Sheamus has been untouchable. in my opinion. So really excited to see that. I think he's probably also approaching a retirement run, and I think his retirement is going to sort of coincide with John Cena's as well. So I think we're going to see some of that rolling on. So I'm excited to see what happens with Sheamus. Loving what Pete Dunne's doing right now. Great match. Good start to the show. I've been enjoying Raw this evening, so good shit. What do you got?
My match of the week is from Friday Night SmackDown, and it is a tag team championship #1 contender match between DIY and the Street Profits. What a
That was good.
Phenomenal tag team match. Like, as somebody that's a sucker for great tag team wrestling, when I get to enjoy great tag team wrestling, I am at the edge of my seat. And the false finishes were aplenty. The high impact was there. They were laying their shit in. The spots were great. Street Profits get the W. DIY goes to the back of the line. Hopefully the Street Profits will beat Jacob Fatu and whatever and with Tamatonga, but they probably won't because it's storyline bullshit. Because those tag belts do not need to be in the possession of those two individuals.
I like that they're working on rehabbing the Street Profits after the untimely leaving. Not, he's still alive, he's fine. The leaving of Bobby Lashley, and because I feel like that really derailed the Profits. So I like that they're doing the rehabbing of them to kind of get them back in the top of the tag team title picture, because they really are their top guys, top guy tag team title wise. So they're guys that like I want to see Street Profits versus Usos, like we saw Usos versus New Day, kind of like I want to see some of that kind of rivalry. I want to see that kind of thing, and I feel like they got derailed a little bit over the last few months because they were with Bobby Lashley and they were heels, and then Bobby Lashley was kind of on his way out, so they kind of just like floated around, and now Bobby's gone, but now they're like #1 contenders. They're back to being the Profits, so let's just fucking go.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, and like I hope that we pay some justice to these tag team championships, because I thought it was a giant mistake that they split them. Then they revamped them both, and now neither of them matter.
Pretty much.
So hopefully we get a little tag team title revitalization, a little revamp, a little bit of love on those titles, a la Miz the IC title.
Now would be the time to do it, because everything, like, nothing else is about to be in contention. So now would be the time to do it, to put some shine on them.
Only time will tell.
We'll see.
If you're still here hanging out with us, my goodness, do we appreciate you. You could hit the thumbs up button. We
love you, Pat. I know you're still
very
there.
Thankful. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_fall WC. That's ONE. And if you're listening to us on the audio side, we appreciate just every single second of your time. Tell your friends. Give us one commute. That's all we're asking. You'll know that we're one of the most underrated podcasts in the wrestling space, and we're just two normal guys. So with all that being said, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. With everybody saying, One Fall WrestleCast. Man, that was a fun episode.